All right. Will, how the devil are you?
Very well, Simon. Very well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, good, good. Look, thanks for giving us a bit of time this morning. I know you're a very, very busy man. We've
Of
been trying
course.
to do this for a couple of weeks, but it's all great. Guys, as I said earlier, that we got Will Bailey here. As you know, you've all seen his deals of late. You all try to get on them, but unfortunately they go. You know, the great thing about Will's properties is that we sell them in a day and they literally in and out. And what I've managed to do with Will is that he's now going to give us a bigger flow of those deals. So from next week, we've got a whole heap of deals starting to come through every week, exclusively through us, which is great. And what I want to do is kind of grab Will for a minute, and for the next sort of 10 minutes, he's really going to go through how he got into business, what sort of deals he's got, the type of investors that he can help, and how to get access to those deals. So, Will, over to you. Just give us a bit of background on how you got here.
Thank you, Simon. So I run a company called Will Bailey Property, and we build property portfolios for people who are miles away from the northeast of England, basically. And my background is in investments before it's in property, and I spent the first 10 years of my adult career managing people's investment portfolios in other markets, basically in the main markets. And the guys who are always the happiest, the guys who seem the wealthiest, the guys who really seemed to know what they were doing with the property guys. So I thought, hang on a minute, I'm probably doing something wrong. I should have a go at that. And how it really came about was I've invested my money from an early age in all sorts of things. Right? I had a bit of a scattergun approach. I've tested stocks and shares. I've done some crypto stuff. I've done some boring stuff. I've also bought and sold 10,000 pairs worth of women's shoes in America at one point. So I've tried everything. Yeah. And property for me is the one thing that's predictable. I like numbers and I like predictability, and there's so much less speculation involved in buying a property than there is in anything else, and I like that. There's no harm in having a punt and other stuff, but I think this is like real money making. It's very predictable.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I liked it. So the issue I had was I am from southeast of England. I was working 60, 70-hour weeks, and I really wanted to build a property portfolio. And I didn't have the team of people in the northeast where I wanted to invest. I didn't have the time to go up there all the time, so I was working 60, 70 hours a week, and frankly, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And that meant that I was hindered from building a property portfolio. So I sacked in my job and I went and built all of those things. I created a team to do the sourcing property, the refurbing property, the letting of property in the north of England for me. I learned what I was doing. I built a great network of people, started getting really good access to the right kind of deals. And then I could do that for myself, so I started doing that for other people too. And here we are today.
The rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
And so you specialise in two kind of areas of property, certainly from what we've seen and what we've seen. Can you just give us a bit of background to those sorts of types of deals that you kind of specialise in?
Absolutely. The main and a big chunk of what we do is buy-to-let property, but it's not a typical buy-to-let property where you go and buy it with a 25% deposit and you never get your deposit back and it pays you rent forever. We do what your guys, I know what you guys in your community are interested in and have responded to so much already, is buy, refurbish, refinance. And the basic premise of that is we buy a property with cash, we buy it below market value, we add some value with a refurbishment, we get a tenant into that property so it pays you rent, and then we take out a mortgage on that property. And what that allows us to do, rather than putting a deposit in and never getting that money back, it allows us to buy a property and just recycle the money every time. Right? So we might buy a property for 75 grand all in, including all the costs. It's worth 100 grand. We take out a mortgage at 75% of the new value. The bank just lends us our 75 grand back. So we've got a house, we've got our 75 grand back, and we just repeat again and again and again. That's why it's so attractive and why people love it. And like you said, why the stuff sells so quickly, because we like free houses. Second point is social housing. And this is something I think is a great place to be for the right investors. And social housing is where instead of renting to a single tenant, what we'll do is we'll rent a property to a housing association that looks after vulnerable tenants, or we'll rent a property to the local council or a local government or a charity or something like that. Rather than renting to a single tenant, the body that we rent it to will rent that property from us for 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years at a time. The beauty of that, they take care of the maintenance, they take care of the management, all of the intricacies of that. and the landlord doesn't do anything, just get paid, really.
So for kind of the investors who've got a pot of money sitting in the bank doing nothing, want to actually put it to work, they can do that with you. And I know we've done a couple of those deals for you in the past, and some of those returns are just like they're crazy. And
they are
assured returns from local government.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you were to, I view property versus other markets, right? And I know tomorrow, if I had a 5-year bond I could buy that was going to give me 10%, it was guaranteed by the government. And at the end of that 5 years, I was given a house worth my initial investment. Like, I'll peel over that.
Yeah,
and that's basically what that is. It's just, but it doesn't work for those people who just want to recycle their capital so much. Social housing is harder to recycle, it's harder to get lending. So if you want to park part of your money into social housing and get a good predictable yield, it's a great place to be. In an ideal world, I'd say perfect type of people for us to work with, the people that want to do both. If you've got a big equity portfolio or an overall portfolio and property is part of you diversifying that, let's do a bit of both, and you could do really well.
And I'm guessing a lot of your client base is based of professionals who are basically cash rich and time poor.
Yeah, that's it. So either you don't have the time and you've got the money, or you're in the wrong location. So I was in the wrong location. I didn't have the time, but I had the money. I was in Kent, southeast of England, had to go up to the northeast. Half of my clients are in the Middle East, so out in the UAE. Lots of down in London as well. And frankly, the right kind of people to work with for me are busy professionals. And why would you want to spend your time traipsing around the northeast of England, painting a house and looking for houses and looking after tenants if you don't have to anyway? It's not that fun, I have to say.
Listen, yeah, you're taking care of everything, and I know you know we've got some really, really pleased people that have got involved with you and going on to other things and doing other projects with you. So, you know, that's just the start of what you're doing. So a client comes along, they're interested, they see the returns, and they've got the money. What sort of money do they really need? You know, and let's be honest about, you know, everyone tells you only need that, but you talk straight. So what sort of money do they need?
You can go and do this no money down stuff with other people, but that don't work with me. I need you guys to have access to at least 75 grand of liquid capital to make it work. And that means we can go and buy a property quickly, discounted for cash. That's the bare minimum that we need to be able to get cracking and do really, really well. It's so much easier to buy property quickly with cash in a bad condition than it is to go and get a mortgage and faff about. And in today's climate, that stuff takes ages.
So too long. You're losing the deals all the time.
That's it. The right client, the perfect type of people for me to work with, are people who have already got a 7-figure investment portfolio, and you want to diversify a chunk of that into property, and you're looking for like a portfolio manager, like you have in stocks and shares, or a broker to manage that for you. That's where we come in, and then we build out a structured plan to invest, say 25%, whatever you choose of your overall portfolio, into property, and we start shoring up your wealth doing that.
And conversely to that, you know, you've worked with some of our people where they got 100, 150, 200 grand, but you strategically build out a plan over the next 3-5 years and go, right, this is what we're going to do. And it's meeting their objectives. You know, we're very much based as a business about objectives. So our members, we're really keen to kind of, what's your objective? Why do you really want to invest? Is it to build something, pay for the kids' education, retirement? And then you can, which is what I love working with you, is because you can take that client and then build that plan with what you do.
That's exactly right.
That's crazy. You know, it's kind of ready-made.
Yeah, because the deals do what the deals do, right? We buy this house and it makes money, but it's really about what you want. And you're going to want something slightly different to what I'm going to want. John's going to want something slightly different to what you're going to want. And it's always going to be a little bit different. So what I get a real kick out of is knowing that these guys, everyone, you guys watching this video, you might do a deal with me next week. You might dip a toe in the water and buy one deal and test us out. And then we sit down and we really build out a plan for you guys over 5 years. 5 years down the line, we've smashed it. You've got exactly what you wanted. And I get real buzz out that, you know, just from a chat on a video and dipping a toe in the water and trying it out. It's really
I mean, it's been great working with you so far. You know, you haven't let anyone down, and I think you've excelled in terms of delivery. From, you know, we get feedback from everyone, so we follow everyone up anyway, as you know. So, you know, we know that's good, and hence why we come to you to see what else you can do and what other deals we can sort of take from you and put out to our members. And so what's a typical buying process then? So for everyone who wants to know, you know, they've all probably gone through some pain of some buying and some letdowns. How does it work with you? How secure are those deals when you offer that deal out?
Okay, cool. So before a property deal even comes to look at, before it comes anywhere near you, my team of buyers have probably gone out and looked at 200 properties. We've got rid of most of them. We've then picked the ones we want. We've offered on them. We've been outbid on most of them. We might end up with 10 properties. Okay. We've negotiated on these properties. So there's no negotiating to do. I've had the offer accepted and it's been secured already. We have gone out and had a builder quote, a quote that he'll back up to do that full written quote for all of the work that needs to be done. I've had a rental appraisal done from 1 or 2 letting agents with a quote on the type of tenant that we're going to get. Also had a sales valuation done and a remortgage valuation done as well. So you guys have a full pack. Basically, it's just a prospectus that says this is what the numbers of that property are.
Yep.
We've done all the research. We base it on, if I'm buying it, this is all the stuff I want to know first. So my team go and do all of that due diligence first, and then you just say yes or no. So you don't have to faff about offering and looking at builders and all of that stuff, because who's got time for that? If you like the property, because they're good deals and we'll only bring them out if they're decent, you need to move quite quick. Like Simon said, they tend to go in a matter of like minutes and hours rather than days. So if, the last group out has been mental. So if you like it, what we do is we have a chat and you say, yes, I like it. So we secure it for you. There's a tiny little holding deposit. And then you start with our case handlers going through the buying process. You'll actually be able to use the same solicitors we use for my property deals that we do every day. So we can manage that process for you to make it really hands-off. Between you saying, yes, I like a property, and actually physically becoming the owner of it and getting the keys, an average time is anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks. Try and keep that as short as possible. But average is about 4 to 6 weeks. And then what happens is the build team will go in. You will have signed off the list of work that you're happy with. And every week you'll get a video update as if you're there walking you around all of the work that's been done. So you can see it going on, enjoy the process, but without having to get your hands dirty. And as soon as the work is finished, the letting agent will go in. It takes 1 to 2 weeks to rent the property normally up here for us.
And you're taking care of all that as well.
Yeah, that's it. So you'll use the same letting agents that we use, the same builders that we use, and my team will project manage the whole lot for you. You can get really involved if you want, or you can just let us do it all for you as well.
Okay.
That's it. Get the tenant in, start receiving your rent, look to apply for a mortgage if that's what you want to do, refinance, get some money back, and go again. And we take care of everything.
And if people haven't got that access to that mortgage broker, you can point them to a different panel of people to have a conversation with. But
yeah, that's it. Because we're of the fortunate position that we operate at a decent scale, which means I get access to solicitors that you wouldn't as a private investor. I get access to mortgage brokers that you wouldn't get access to deals that you wouldn't. And collectively, we get access to all that together. So by working with me, you get access to the scale that we do. That's a big part of it.
And it's some scale at the minute.
This lockdown for us has been.
It's been busy with so many inquiries and stuff, and then obviously we started talking about testing the water with some deals. I wasn't sure whether that was the right thing for our audience, and lo and behold, it's been your inquiries on your properties have outweighed any other thing we've run this year. And it's telling its own story. I think people want to make best use of their money, make it want to work harder, but have that ability to be able to pull their money out or grow their portfolio, grow their income over it. Because people's views have changed dramatically over the last sort of few months.
They have.
Yeah, financial views have changed dramatically. So it brings us on to access to your properties, because really straightforward, guys, from our point of view. As always, we get you to book a call directly into Will's diary, and we look after that. But it's a much easier thing to do. He's too busy, text, phones and all that sort of stuff is great, but you're not going to get feedback. So it's booking slots, and Will's allocated a lot of time over the next few weeks for people to make sure that he's talking to you and getting you on those deals. So what we're going to do below this video, you're going to either hit reply, leave an email. You're going to get a form from us, which is just a quick questionnaire about you, what you're looking for, etc., etc. And then the ability from that to then book into Will's diary for next week. So it's a pre-registration thing that we're going to start running from Thursday. And the whole idea of that is to get as many people pre-booked for the deals, and the deals will start to be released on Monday. If I'm right, we're going to start Monday twice a day. I think 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock. We're going to start sending some of these live deals out, and Will's diary will be open, and hopefully we'll get you all in there. There's another way to contact you as well on Instagram, I understand, Will. It's very unique.
Instagram's a good way to get hold of me. There'll be a link on here that's at Will Bailey Property. There's always videos and stuff on there, and I'll respond to messages on there as well. So that's a pretty easy way to get through.
We're setting up a separate page or some of the last few months deals, some of the selection of your deals. We're going to put those financials on a separate page. You can all kind of go and view that in the link below. That's a great idea, great way of looking and seeing what the deals are available. They've all gone, but they're there, and that's just like a precursor to what's coming up. And I think there's some more interesting things coming up on the horizon as well that we'll do in another video. We'll talk about what's going to happen on that.
Yeah, that's it. I'm really, really excited to work with you guys. All I'd say, what I've noticed from working with Simon so far is that deal goes out and there's a huge amount of demand. Tends to go quite quick, but then some people end up booking a call like 2 or 3 days after the deal goes out, and upon which time it's gone. So just
we had it before. We had it before, Will, with people emailing in again and then missing all the slots as people were taking the slots, so they were missing the deals.
Yeah,
and that's why we had to say, look, how many can you give us, a week or a month that we can put out, because we know they'll go. It's just that the more we can get from you, I think it's gonna. We've got 7,000 members, and it's and that's growing weekly. So we've certainly got the appetite.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's going to be a really exciting week next week.
Yeah, fantastic.
Guys I've worked with from you so far, Simon, have been amazing. Really,
good to hear. Good to hear.
And let's make it happen.
Nice one. All right. Look, your 10 minutes, 15 minutes is up. It's all crazy. Your end. Look, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks very much for that, and we'll speak soon.
Thanks, Simon.
Bye, mate. Take care. Cheers, mate. Bye. Bye.